Motorcycles, picking and flipping.
Hey everybody, Mike here, aka Pauly B Picker. Just wanted to go over some things being a newer reseller. I've been reselling for about 4 years, but 3 of those years were mostly video games to grow my collection. I've really hit into actually reselling to try and make a profit and not try to grow a video game collection. And so I wanted to go over some things that you run into as a new reseller so that maybe it's easier for you when you hit these, I don't want to call them, bumps in the road, but kind of FAQs of things and situations that occur. So the first thing, if you're a new reseller, is your family and spousal support. And I've talked about this before in previous videos, but at first my wife, she did not want me to resell. She thought it was a waste of time, waste of space, and it wasn't going anywhere. And I understand where she was coming from because, again, I was doing it for video game collecting, so I was never making a lot of profit. Any of that extra money went to buying more game lots, so she never saw any of the money. So to her it was a waste of time, waste of space. Should have been spending it more with my family, in her opinion. So I started watching, actually it was Rally Roots was the first channel that I really started watching that wasn't video game related, and she actually got into watching their videos with me and thought it was interesting, but again, she didn't think that we made enough to be spending a little extra money on inventory, so I wasn't really allowed to do it. Then I started doing it a little bit, then she lost her job, so any of the profits that we had saved up from that had to go to bills and feeding the children, which is a lot more important, and it kind of died down for a while. We made it to a point where we were renting out a house now instead of having an apartment with very little room, so we have a garage. I got back into it, but it was very slow start. I started with one shelf and was doing it all wrong. Thrift stores in my area, they run color sales. A lot of them do it. They release a new color each week and they rotate through the colors. Oldest color, at the end of the week, they'll have like a $1 sale or a 50-cent sale. Ours have a 50-cent sale. Instead of looking for items that would sell, I would just go buy things that, oh, I think that's neat and it's only 50 cents, and I'd buy it, list it, and it would sit. I'd get maybe 1 to 2 sales a week. For her, again, it was looking like it wasn't working, but she did enjoy going thrifting with me. We made it like a date thing every Sunday morning, so that helped a little bit. Then after listening to, it was actually Daily Refinement, and I'm throwing out a lot of names here, so there's a lot of people: Pro Picker, NC Picker, American Arbitrage, Commonwealth Picker, Mountain Man Picker, the Froggy Flips. There's a lot of them, and I do suggest you watch them because each of them have their own niche, their own mindset about reselling. And if you can take everything that they have and take out the pieces that you like that help you out, you can build your own business model based on the experiences that they've already had. Essentially what I did is kind of went behind her back, started actually looking for things that would sell. Obviously I didn't have a lot of extra cash, so I would buy 1 or 2 things a week and list those. And then I was also picking up really cheap DVDs so that I could still list 5 to 10 items a day to keep the eBay store running. I just started this in April. It is now about the middle of May. I started generating sales because I was actively listing every day, and that is legit. It's a thing. Then I took her and her friend and gave them a mani-pedi day. And since then, I've been making enough profits to where if she says, oh, I don't have any lunch money or anything, I can, throw her 10 bucks or so. Well, the business can throw her 10 bucks or so to get her lunch, and I'm still able to source. Now when I go in, I'm not looking at the tag sales. We don't go every Sunday anymore, which I miss the way it's been going. I need to go during the week when there's not a lot of people there, when the new product's still out. And yes, you do got to pay over that 50-cent sale, but you get things that actually move. The only thing I can recommend there is day sourcing. List your death pile. Don't have a death pile if you can help it. Then you can get that profit in. Now my wife actually helps me. She takes care of what's going on in the house. He kind of handles that and gives me time to be out here to research, list, ship, and I'm happy with that. That's good. And I still do my fair share in the house, at least what I think is. I don't know if she does. If you're watching, love you. Once you get over that hurdle, then the next hurdle is, where do you want to be? Do you want to have 10,000 listings and selling 20 to 30 items a day at 10 bucks a piece, and that's where your profit's coming in? Do you plan on leaving your full-time job to be a reseller? Right now I don't. I have about 430 listings active right now. I'm getting probably anywhere from 4 to 10 sales a day. That comes back to making sure that you're grabbing things that actually sell. And I've been consistently listing anywhere from 8 to 25 items per day. You get that traffic. I keep a spreadsheet, and my last 60 sales, 10 came from Poshmark, 50 came from eBay. So that's where I concentrate most of my time. I'll list on eBay first, and then if I have time during the day, I'll cross list those items over to Poshmark. It hasn't happened to me yet. It's come close. If you have offers on both platforms, leave them sit. Don't cancel out one over the other. But as soon as you hear that either cha-ching or you get that email that it's sold on the other platform, immediately go delist it from the other platform. Poshmark, you can delist if you go in, edit the listing, change the size, save it. That'll remove the offers, then you can delist it. Don't just mark it as sold or not available. It's going to fill your closet up with all those extra listings, and it doesn't represent you well. I think it's a misjudgment because it shows that you have 400 listings, but you only got 200 items in there. Frequent the same thrift stores if you're a thrifter. If you're a garage saler, all the power to you. Make friends, be friendly. When you frequent the same thrift stores over and over again, and be sure to talk about it, don't hide what you do. Okay, there's so many resellers out there. Most people, when you tell them that's what you do, they're like, oh, okay. I recently just had a manager at a thrift store. They took down my number. They said they'll give me a call whenever they get a huge clothes haul, which is great because it's in another town. And you make those connections like that, and you can get good deals. Just be nice to people. Small mom and pops, they're actually sometimes a non-profit to where the money goes to a good cause. So if you make a contact there and they get a huge inventory haul and you can help them move that inventory quickly, that gets their donation quota up higher. It's beneficial to everybody. So yeah, of course they're going to help out. They're going to give you a call, you're going to go spend money, they're going to be able to send their donation quota to their people, so it's going to look good for everybody. Don't sit on unlisted items too long. I had a 5-disc CD changer, for example, worked, and I didn't have it listed for very much. I had it listed for $5 for a year. Did not sell. Finally sold recently. I believe I started it off at like 65-ish, but I lowered it and lowered it and lowered it, and eventually I just forgot it was there, and then it sold, and it's been just sitting on a shelf this whole time. Make sure that you are editing listings, and I wouldn't even revise. Delisting it, sell similar, and actually bump the price up. Items are seasonal, so they don't always sell year round, and if that item's been sitting during the dead time, it'll be forgotten in a lost black hole of eBay listings, and people won't see the quality of the item based on a small price. When they finally do find it, they'll see it for $5 and go, what's wrong with it? There's got to be a defect, there's got to be something, so they'll skip over it. Sometimes if you raise the price, sell similar, people see it and go, oh, okay, wow, this nice shirt, now's the season, I need some polos, boom, and it sells. Believe it or not, sometimes raising the price will actually get your item to sell if it's been sitting for 90 days or more. I suggest giving the listing some time to kind of settle down at the bottom of the beaker before shaking it back up. Make sure you keep a spreadsheet of all your inventory. Track your cost versus your profit. And when I mean profit, I don't mean that number that's on your 90-day total, because half of that goes to shipping, and then you have fees and everything, so you're only getting about half of that. And then you got to pay taxes at the end of the year if you make over 600. I put the amount for the amount that it sold, and that's shipping and everything, but the amount that they paid. And then I have that column up here, so that should match your 90-day total. And the next column over is going to be your estimated profit, 50% of that total. And then you take your net profit, which is going to be that number minus what you've paid for your goods. That number should be positive. Making sure that you have a fresh flow of inventory is very important. When do I get an eBay store? Me, it was about 250 listings is when I did it finally. Make sure that you are consistently getting the profits to be able to pay for that each month. Once you get a store, immediately spend the time, edit it, get your categories created, get everything organized. You will have to do some editing. Make sure that you are consistent across your listings. Me personally, like I said, I do the DVDs as filler. They're all $1.95. I don't care if it's a rare one. I don't care if it's sealed. It's going to be $1.95. That way it's going to bring people back. They're going to go, wow, I got this $20 DVD for $1.95 from this guy. I'm going to continue to come back. They're going to see that I sell hats and shoes and clothes, and they're going to go, well, I've always gotten good DVDs from him. He's packed them great. I need some shoes. Let me look at the shoes. He's been a good seller in the past. That kind of thing. That's the point. Bring those people in. That leads me to my last topic. Niching or niching down. Don't just sell everything under the sun. Some people like to go out and just look for gems, and they only have 100 to 200 listings in their store, but they're all items that can sell for, $100 plus, which is great. You get one sale a day, that's $100 a day. Me, I prefer to get a bunch of $15 to $30 items that when I make a sale, I'm making $10 each, but I'm selling 10 items a day. That's how I'm making it. It saves on space. All my hats are hanging on a rope that I have thread across on my garage. All my shoes are in a shoe area. And all my shirts and clothing, they all fit on a rack specifically set aside for them. It also saves space on your shipping supplies because you can cut down on what shipping supplies. You don't have to order every size box. You can just order those poly bags or those hat boxes or the shoe boxes. It increases your speed because if you're only listing the same item types, the same 5 item types, you're going to get faster. You're going to start knowing things just by looking or feeling them, especially like shirts, clothing. You're going to be able to just feel the quality, which will make it to where you can list more items quickly, and you can also ship faster because you know how to pack them. Shipping tip: priority mail does not actually have to go in a priority package that says priority on it unless it says flat rate. If it's just regular priority mail, it can go in a poly bag, it can go in a regular box. It's the tag that they're reading. The only time you're going to get it back is if it says flat rate on the tag, on the shipping label, and you put it in a regular box or a poly bag. So those poly bags, they work for first class, which is great for items under a pound, and they work for priority mail, which is for items over a pound, because sometimes you get sweaters and stuff like that. They're over a pound. They've got to go priority, but they still can ship in a poly bag. I've made that mistake. I just recently learned that actually from my father. Thank you, Dad. So that kind of loops us back to the beginning of one of the reasons why my spouse didn't like me reselling, which was the time aspect. If you can shorten the amount of time that you're actually working on listing and research and shipping, you get to spend more time with your family and more time doing the things that you want to do. And initially, that's the real point of getting into reselling, is to be able to work for yourself, be able to make some extra money, or your full-time income. Online reselling is the only job that I've seen, that I've physically done, and I've done more jobs that I can count on my hands and toes, that you get paid based on the effort that you put in. You don't put any effort in, you're not going to get paid unless you're extremely lucky. You put in the effort, you spend 2-3 hours a day doing your listing, and you will get paid for that. There might be a couple of times where it seems like you're not, and there will be slow days. There will be days you don't get a sale. It always comes back around. Maybe that weekend you'll get a ton of sales, or you'll get more than you normally do, and it kind of evens out and balances out. Keep an eye on your statistics, and always make sure that you're getting good feedback if you can. Make sure items are packaged up well. Always make sure that you're answering any questions quickly. Another tip, throw in. If you are doing clothing, shirts specifically, always make sure to include the pit-to-pit measurement and the length measurement, which is the base of the collar down to the bottom of the shirt from the back. That is the most asked question that I ever get. So if you put that in the listing, even if they don't read the listing, it gives you a quick reference point to reply back to them with those measurements. You don't have to figure out the chest size yourself. It's okay if you let them do it. Most people already know, if they're online shoppers, they already know which pit-to-pits fit them. And there's lots of charts out there for the specific company. And for pants, if it doesn't have the inseam, it only has the waist, make sure to measure that inseam. And if you don't know how to do that, you need to learn how to do that. Go out there. There's plenty of videos that explain how to measure clothing. Highly suggest doing that if you're selling clothing. That's what's worked for me. Make sure that you are shipping fast. Ship same day if you can. Most of my feedback is, wow, fast shipping, super fast shipping. And when I say ship, I don't mean just print the label. I mean print the label, package the item, put the label on it, drop it to the post office. Get into a habit. So right now, I wake up early in the morning, I go out, I research some items, put them on my inventory sheet with the measurements and whatnot, take the pictures, but I don't list right then and there. I have all the requirements to list that item later on. There's some time before I have to take my son to school. That's when I list, and I'll list those items. Later on, I'll list those items during the day or right when I get off of work over to Poshmark. Recap everything. Make sure to get your spouse on board, however you have to do it. Show them that there are profits to be made. And it won't seem that way at first. Just keep at it. There will be a time when it's like, why am I doing this? But it will pay off as long as you keep at it. Keep listing about 10 items every day that actually sell. And they don't have to have the greatest sell-through rates. They just need to sell. Niche down so that you get to be an expert in those areas to save space, to save shipping supplies, and all that stuff. Any time savers will be beneficial to you. Make sure that you provide good customer service. Get into a routine. Make sure that you're spending time with your family. Don't let that go to the wayside. That's way more important than anything you could ever do reselling. Spending time with your family. The profits will come as long as you can get those 10 listings a day. If you find that you can't get those 10 listings a day because you have so many family obligations, and I don't even want to say obligations, so many things that you want to do with your family, you're going to have to change your schedule. You're going to have to get up an hour earlier. You're going to have to go to bed an hour later. Just make sure that it's something that you can fit into your schedule. Me, I'm a machine. I can go to bed at 1 in the morning and be up at 4, and I function just fine. There's some people out there that need 10 hours of sleep a night, or they're crazy. Whatever it is, just make sure that it fits in your schedule, or you adjust it into your schedule. I hope this video helped you out a lot, and if you have any comments, questions, concern, feel free to put them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and catch you on the flip side. How's it going today? I don't believe you. Do you know why I don't believe you? Did you know Dad's a picker?
No, you're not. You're silly.
What's going on? Mike here, aka Pauly B Picker, and I did some sourcing today, so I'm going to give you a sourcing video. Here I am at a Goodwill looking over the shirts. I believe the tag color for today was red. Right now I'm in the mediums and smalls, so nothing's really jumping out. Today I'm looking for things that can definitely flip.
just to make up for some shorts that I've got to buy for my kid. So you always want to make sure that you really look at things. Now, this pattern was unique. I've sold similar patterns, but the brand Goodfellow and the material feel there, you see me feel it. It just doesn't feel like good quality, or at least decent quality, so I skipped it. These are the smaller sizes, so I kind of go past it. Right there, polo behind it, Green Bay Packers. I missed that. I would have definitely picked that up had I seen that logo. I'm just looking at the brand tags and feeling the shirts. Even a bad feeling shirt, a bad quality shirt with a higher or well-known team like that'll sell. And here I am feeling some golf polos. They do really well for me. But when I'm really in need of things that'll definitely flip, I'm looking for larger sizes, Adidas, Under Armour, PGA Tour, Nike Dry Fits, those kind of things that have sold for me in the past. A lot of these are that George Norman, Izod, Van Heusen, or their their company logoed shirts. Now, this shirt did not have a brand on it. It actually felt kind of decent, but I won't buy anything that's unbranded unless I can determine what kind of brand it is. I've just had no luck with unbranded stuff, no matter how nice of a description I've written. And sorry for the bad photography here. I am always using my phone, and I've never recorded in this Goodwill before, so I don't know what their policy is going to be. There's going to be a point here shortly where I am going to stop the voiceover and let you listen to my conversation with the manager. And yeah, I got to pick up that shirt I knocked down, never leave anything on the floor. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here shortly as soon as this conversation starts, and let you listen in on that.
How's it going today? I don't believe you. Do you know why I don't believe you? Because you didn't say, hey, welcome, or anything when I walked in. So, being that I've worked in retail before, you're having a bad day, so I hope it goes better. Yeah. That's everywhere, unfortunately. We are too.
So I was just trying to, we only have 3 people closing tonight. So, I'm just trying to keep up on the floor and everything.
Oh, jeez.
In the dressing room, yeah.
Man.
Not to mention the heat.
Oh yeah, I mean it's cooler. It's not that bad in here. This isn't bad. Step outside.
Oh yeah.
All right, so the point of letting you listen to that is to go over what I've gone over in videos before, which is always be nice to people. I had never met her before or seen her before, but I did notice when I first walked in, she was right at the cash register. She had seen me. She didn't say anything. She was talking to another employee. And so I am not shy, as you can tell. And that I wasn't always that way. I practice. And the best way to practice that I have found is anytime that you see someone at a gas station or a restaurant or anything that has a name tag, call them by their first name, act like you know them, and just ask them how their day was, why they're not smiling, even if they're having an obviously bad day, and you'll be surprised how quickly you pick that up. All right, so a lot of the same stuff. Croft & Barrow, Izod, a lot of brands I'd never heard of, but the material just feels like crud. And again, sorry for the bad angle. I'm literally holding my phone against my stomach or chest area just because that manager is walking around behind me. I don't want to get in trouble, or not even get in trouble. Now, this Kansas City Royals shirt, I recently actually had a Royals t-shirt sell just the other day. So I'm looking for a brand tag. All I see is a white large tag that says XL. So I'm looking all over. I mean, it doesn't feel very nice, but again, the sports stuff will sell. And then I notice there's writing on the back, and turn it over, and it is a Papa John's Pizza promotional uniform, I'm guessing, or something where they wear it to serve to serve pizza at the stadium or something along those lines. And I wave my finger there, no, no, no. So that was kind of a dud. This Goodwill's been around for a while. I've been going here for a long time. Back in the day, a couple years ago, they would carry video games in their front case, you know, systems, that kind of stuff. And I would come here, pick up games, but now they do an electronics Goodwill, and they send them all there. You saw that. That is a Tommy Bahama silk short sleeve button shirt. Can't go wrong with those. Yes, the market is flooded with those. However, I'll be able to list that for $19.95 and take a best offer at around $15, $14. And that'll pretty much pay for the shorts that I need to cover, plus, and I just got a sale. And the shorts that I got to cover.
Shall we play a game?
My apologies. That is my email. Love the sounds, and I'm going to leave them in the audio just for S's and giggles. Since we were rudely interrupted by a sale, how dare they? I will get a lot of today's profit back from that shirt. So here I am looking back. Like I was saying, they had a lot of video games, but they send them all to this video game electronics Goodwill store that just eBay prices them, if not more, and it's just ridiculous. You don't find anything there. The only time you find things there that might be worthwhile is in the big stuff case. They might have it listed wrong, or sometimes they have systems that they don't have the cords to test. So I got a Nintendo 64 there for $20, untested. Got the power cord. It does power on. Just waiting to pick up some RCA cords so that I can test those. Now, this Coastal shirt, it's a black and white, neat little hypnotic pattern, if you will. Short sleeve, button up, new with tags. The retail on it was $30. It's only $4. I'm definitely going to pick that up. I always check the shirts for obvious flaws, cigarette burns, holes in the sleeves, large stains, anything that can't get out. And there you go. So we have that Tommy Bahama, and that it's a brand called Casual, and it's modern fit, and I believe it's a double XL. I think that Tommy shirt was XL. I won't pick up any Tommy shirts that are smaller than a large, just because the market is so flooded. Those bigger sizes sell a lot better. And like I've said in previous videos, fat guys like myself, we like that Hawaiian. And look what we got here. Another Tommy Bahama shirt. This one's a cotton polo with the, I believe it is a marlin or a sailfish logo. And I'm looking for the typical Tommy tag down here. And I believe I check the other side as well. I always want to check those tags just to see if there's any special instructions. Make sure that the emergency button is still attached. That way, if one of the buttons is on there or cracked or anything, that it can be easily repaired or fixed. So that's good for any customer service issues. If for some reason one of the buttons is damaged in shipping, I can give them a discount on the shirt. They have the button to repair it, and they don't have to send it back. And I usually get good feedback for customer service doing those little tricks. That comes from 2 or 3 years in an online retailer and trying to not get the product back but still make the person happy. Now, this brand, Batik Bay, I found 2 in the past, within the last couple of months actually, and they were silk. This one is not silk. It is, I believe, mostly rayon. But both of my Batik Bays sold within probably 48 hours of listing them. So I picked that up pretty darn quickly, especially since it's a double X. Now, every time I source, I forget to look at shirts for me specifically. I'm a larger size, so finding my size at those prices is a very, very good thing. And I saw that purple golf polo there, and I almost got it, but again, I didn't think for myself. Now I'm going to give you a nice shot of the pillows here while I go through some more. I believe these are the dress shirts. I don't typically spend a lot of time on dress shirts. I've had a few sell, but not typically. I actually sold a lot of 8 dress shirts today. They were all extra large, and they were all at the other thrift store that I've talked about where they run the 50-cent sales on Sundays. I went in and said, okay, I'm going to buy 8 similar shirts that are on sale and lot them up and see if I can do a wholesale lot. And they ended up selling for about $2 a shirt, and at 50 cents after fees, then I'm at least doubling my money. And I do not do free shipping as of yet, so the buyer covered shipping. So that was a pretty good profit. It took about a month to sell on that. And I'm going to peruse, I believe, the men's jeans, or at least the end caps. I don't typically like buying jeans from Goodwill. They tend to overprice the jeans a little bit. I mean, they're still cheaper than you're going to get retail, which is great for people that need jeans, but it's just not a reseller's budget. Now, this sweater, I cannot remember the brand, but it was a very good quality. It's just not the season, and right now, like I said, I need some quick, good flips, and don't have as much cash on me, so I'm passing just because of the season. Otherwise, I would have snatched it if I had the extra cash or if it was closer to the season, without a doubt. And I find another one of the same brand further down, and I'd never seen the brand out in the wild, so I was kind of heartbroken a little bit, but there are other things that are more important, and it won't be the first time. I'll see them again, I hope, especially seeing 2 in the Goodwill. So again, just going through all the shirts. Now, this item I do pick up and start walking with it. I end up putting it back just because it had a lot of little flaws in it, and it's a sweater, and it doesn't have the typical tags down below, and I don't know if they normally have the typical tags, but this is actually a Tommy Bahama sweatshirt, and like I said on that last brand, it is out of season. I'm sure somebody would have bought it. There's always people that live in the snow and the cold year-round, but with that small of a buying pool and with the current situation, I couldn't justify purchasing that shirt today. And you have to get to that point where it's okay to say no to things when, any other normal day you would have picked that up with no doubt. Now, this shirt I thought was pretty cool, so I just showed the camera. I mean, it's obviously modern. It says all lives matter, or all kills matter, or something like that, and it was Mike Myers. I thought that was pretty funny, but I don't think that that's appropriate to sell in my store, so I did not pick it up. It probably would have sold. Or it could have been a great gift for one of my teenagers, because they love horror type stuff. At least one of them does. And this shirt I just pulled out to see what the graphics said, and it was all kind of worn out, so I put it right back. I didn't even see what it said. There were a couple of nice feeling flannel shirts. The only thing I have issue-wise with flannel, that one, Technology That Yields, it just seemed old to me, so I checked it out for a while. And then I do remember watching Thrift of Life mentioning that Double Mountain logo. I don't know if that was the right brand. It did not sound familiar, so I skipped it. But the shirt right before it just seemed very vintage. So I was planning on looking it up, and I'm not even looking it up now. I'm just going past it. Like I said, today wasn't a planned trip. It was just kind of an on the whim kind of thing. But here comes one of those flannels, about 5 shirts down now, that looks really nice. Oh, this is, I do pick this up. This is a Columbia Omni Shade shirt jacket. It's for sun protection, and I can list that for $19.95 and probably get full asking price. Now this flannel feels so nice. I didn't even look at the brand. Look at that hole in the sleeve. It's very unfortunate. I would have picked that up and held that one, just because you don't find a lot of very nice feeling flannels. Now the brand could have been crud, and I said it earlier in the video that it's hard to describe things, but I'm just a flannel guy, and I like listing things that I like. Alright, so I get to the suits, and now I've looked through suits. You saw me kind of pat it, and I tapped it a couple of times. I do have a couple of suit jackets that are listed, and I'm waiting for them to sell before I attempt to list anymore. Now I come over the shorts. I've had a lot of luck with hybrid and board shorts this year, which is phenomenal because I found a lot. It's almost like people just didn't pick over them. I've had decent luck with Massimo Supply brand. I picked these up here. They're a very small size, so I'll probably sit on them for a little while, but that's okay because it'll bring me about 15 shipped. Nike Dry Fits, Under Armour, Billabong, they have all sold pretty well for me. Now again, I mentioned I am looking for some shorts for my teenage son because he does not have a lot of them, but he also doesn't just like athletic shorts that go on, so I'm trying to find him some shorts, and I don't know his size, so I'm waiting to hear back on that. And he's a smaller size, so I think I have to go around behind me. If I remember correctly, I'm kind of watching this footage for the first time. I've kind of skimmed over it a little bit just to kind of cut out some of the audio and whatnot. But a lot of this direct brand looks is new to me too. I'm watching it with you, and these are kind of my reactions. So I think I end up picking up a couple of pair here. Not underwear, not boxers. There's going to be a dark green. Yeah, this one here, I believe. They're kind of work shorts, and he does kind of like work type uniforms. His favorite brand of pants is Dickies, just for the work aspect of them. And there's another pair down there that I pick up for him. I don't know if you can see it or not. You're just looking at my hand. Can you tell my future? Can you read my palm? So I believe this just about does it for clothing, and just readjusting, checking out everything I got. That Tommy shirt, that new with tag shirt, that other Tommy, and this Batik Bay. Again, all of those should flip within a couple of months. And this Columbia shirt jacket, these Massimo hybrid shorts with the green and blue plaid, and here's the 2 pair that I got for my kid. That's just a little string hanging on there. I'll have to clean those up. And a little khaki pair behind that. All right, I believe I head over to the DVD section. Now, normally I don't buy a lot of DVDs unless they are on that 50-cent sale at that other thrift store, just so that I can use them as filler to make sure that I hit my listing goals each day. But I don't find anything, and every now and again they slip up and a video game ends up over here, but it's usually one of the lower end rock bands. or like We Connect or something like that. I will glance at the books because every now and then you can find a teen vampire type drama book, but they've got 19 copies of it. I do like to buy when there's bulk like that and just have them sit, have them listed with quantity. Those two totes right there, those two blue ones to the top right, I do pick those up. This is a Budweiser barrel grill, and it is in really nice shape. They wanted $150 for it. Were I a rich man, I would have definitely bought that. Maybe not even rich, even if I was just okay and well off. These totes were only $2 a piece, so I picked them up. You can never have enough totes. They're good to put shoes and clothes and stuff that need to be processed to organize it, so it's not just lying around. And they'll fit on my shelves too. So instead of using those boxes that I have cut up, if you've seen the other videos, now I can transfer those into totes, look a little bit nicer. Here I'm checking out clubs. I have yet to actually buy and try to flip a club, only because I'm nervous about looking for the right brand, size, that kind of stuff. That golf bag, I believe it was a golf bag. I know that there was a golf bag there. I saw it. Right now I'm just adjusting, putting all the clothes inside those totes to make it easier to carry. I should have looked up the bag. I've seen people like Harry Tornado and them flip those bags for a decent amount, and I should have looked at the price. They probably had it high and ridiculous, but you never know. Now we're going to go into the plushes, and I know there's an interruption here with my phone call. There's that Minnie Mouse plush. I did not see that until just now. Dang it. So this little Wicked Witch I look up. I should have looked up a lot of other ones, but I had to make sure that I was watching my time because I had to get my kid from school. Now this next one I pick up, I originally thought this was a Zelda doll, like the female Zelda, the princess from the game, but it is a Bo Peep from Toy Story. So I put it down. I'm sure she had some value to her. I've noticed that you can actually get some decent money on plushes, and I should start watching those more. However, they do take up a lot of room if you get the larger ones. And right now, I just don't have the room to add plushes to my plush shelf. Once I sell one, then I'll have some extra room and I'll look. I'm just checking out the end cap here, and then I realized, you know what? Might as well give you guys a tour of the whole store. I try to stay away from electronics anymore just because they're bulky and they sit. I had a 5-disc CD player that I just sold. It sat on it for about a year. There's a pretty nice painting there, but it was dated 1992, so I left it. Just poking the camera at that. Probably a Cornishware or Pyrex, and just looking at all the pans. I believe I am sending a text right now for work. So it is not frozen. I know that for a fact. And we're starting to move again. There's some nice pie pan down there. Oh, jeez. But, oh, that looks like it was a noodle maker. Man, I should have looked at that. Anyways, no, don't have the room. Stop that. Bad mic. All right. I do check out that little pottery dish thing, and I'm setting the totes down. I do check this out. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. It was red tag. I didn't even think about that. I have sold stuff like this in the past, so it's not like it's new to me, and we do collect glassware and depression glass, that kind of stuff. So my wife and I are not strangers to those kinds of things, and we know how to look those up. That coffee percolator up top was catching my eye there for a second. And still have some Christmas stuff up. That's ridiculous. A lot of little coffee warmers, percolators, a lot of old dishware and stuff that just gets looked over. Little bunny rabbit there. And a Keurig holder. I remember when those were difficult to find. Now they're everywhere. Just looking through the aisle. I'm actually paying more attention now than I was when I was actually there. Little wine bottle holder there. Little plastic set of drawers. I could have picked that up from my desk, but I just don't have the time, and I'm trying to make sure that you guys get a full tour of one of my Goodwills here. We have quite a few where I live. It's not a huge city, but it's also not a small town. And the green section, I do spend a little bit more time because I am a collector of uranium glass. And every once in a while, oh, there was possible jadeite up top there. And I did not go check it out. I am actually checking out a lamp, I believe, that appeared as though it may be uranium glass. But then when I felt it, it felt like really cheap glass. You can see it there. But there was possible jadeite down there. Unfortunately, there's so much jadeite out there. There's more than likely it was a Martha Stewart version from the early 2000s. Oh, that's spelled Gak. Big Nickelodeon fan. Anywho, precious moments there. Those can be worth money, but not that often. Sorry for all the beeping here. That's Poshmark alerts, and I just don't want to edit it all out. It'll take forever. And if you're a reseller and you sell on Poshmark, you should be used to that. That little turkey looks neat. Getting out of season. Now that cookie jar, I didn't see it. Now the pineapple one I saw, that caught my eye right away. A lot of times those are, oh, there was some depression glass bowl there. But that big cookie jar that was over there a couple of seconds ago, that one might have been worth some money. I should have looked that up. Now here I always check the lamps to see if a Fenton art lamp made it through. I am still waiting to find one of those in the wild. I check that everywhere I go. Just a real quick glance at the lamps. If I ever find one, I will be in heaven. That is my one miracle find that I am hoping for and that I cross my fingers and pray for every time I go to a thrift store or a garage sale. Those little gnomes are cute. Now these two, they had them for $50 a piece. And I didn't spend the time, but I bet you could probably make a lot of money on them. I didn't show them, but they were real wood. They almost looked like ventriloquist dolls, but their mouths didn't move, but they were very well done. All the clothing was real and handmade and probably could have been a lot, but again, I didn't look. I was showing you the field where I lose my receipt as I leave. There's the bags and purses. Kids' clothes are past that. Shoes, I believe, are on my left, but I've already looked over the shoes. There's really not much there. Here I'm just checking out a couple of hats. Not much today for hats. I don't typically find decent hats at Goodwills. I will find them in small little mom and pop, McDonald's employee hat. I'll find them in small mom and pop shops a lot better. Now that previous hat with the American flag on it, I should have really checked that. That might have been Velcro front where you can pull that tag off and put on a different tag, and had it been, I would have picked that up. Now there's a couple of O'Neill trucker hats here. I almost picked them up, but again, today I really have to watch the cash. Dropped a hat. I always pick up after myself. Super courteous, and unfortunately that means that you need to take your Dramamine to watch me. Just a quick glance over the belts. Belts I typically don't do unless they're extravagant and really nice quality, and look at the Doritos there, delicious. And I think I take you to the case. And this is where they used to have all the video games, and they've exchanged it with jewelry. It's so sad. It used to be filled with games and whatnot, but Not no more. Stick around, and I've got a garage sale coming up. And it looks like I've accidentally extracted all of the footage, or not footage, excuse me, audio. So I'm just going to go over what they had. A lot of kids' clothes. I will not sell kids' clothes. It just doesn't move quick enough for me. And, well, Halloween guy was pretty neat. They didn't have a lot. They had a lot of women's shoes, and had I had time, I would have most definitely checked out some of the women's shoes. But we were joking here. They're like, oh, yeah, the women's size 8s, you can get them for your wife. And I said, nope, my wife wears a smaller size. Sorry about that, ladies. And she's like, well, we're no help for you. There was a printer there. I didn't even look to see how much they wanted. I was really strapped for time at this point. So this is where I take off. Not a lot here at this one. It was just saw the sign on the way out. Well, have a great one. Catch you on the flip side.